My name is Dyson, but I go by Nicki. I'm the Assistant Executive Director here at the theater.
And I'm Zachary Thelen Liebl, but call me Zack. I'm the Executive Director. I started doing shows here back when I was, I think, 14 was my first show I did here, and I've done shows sporadic ever since. Normally it's the ones I get pulled into at the end, musicals, when they run out of people because they need more guys.
They always need more guys.
And I detest musicals, being in musicals. In February, we did 9 to 5 here, and 9 to 5 was inspired by the Willmar 8.
I never knew that. I was honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, she was actually in 9 to 5. She played Violet. It was a really, really fun event for the ladies that night.
It was very moving.
It was very cool.
I mean, I had no idea going into that significance that even the Willmar 8 had on that show specifically, even other than just, you know, the significance of them, I mean, nationally, changing women in the workplace.
There's a really good documentary.
Our little town of Willmar.
The one, not the newer one, like the very first original one is really good. The women tried to start the union, and you had like the railroad people and all that from the old part of town that was very, yep, let's do this. And then you had the other people that are like, they're just causing a ruckus. And I'd say if something like that happened again, it'd probably be the exact same.
Probably would.
I think the most interesting times with Willmar was when I decided to take my political science degree and run for office here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He ran for mayor.
In 2014, some members in the Chambers of Commerce asked if I'd consider running for mayor because we had just gone through the last 6 or 8 years. There's all the dysfunction at the city council and like arguments, and it was horrendous. Very, very divided. For a very conservative, for moderate and liberal, and then a very conservative mayor. So anyway, they asked me to run for mayor, and then what happened is a gentleman who didn't live in town, but he used to be from here. He was the fire chief for 12 years. He moved back into town that year to run for mayor.
I had phone calls from the Good Old Boys Club asking me to drop out and to just let him run unopposed. And he called me asking to drop out, and it was interesting. So, but I had him scared because he started pumping tons of money into the race. I assumed he would have a good shot for voter turnout. It's very heavy, this older population. So just that age mentality of, you know, the young kid running for mayor. I was seen as the more liberal, and then he was definitely more the moderate conservative. And then this gentleman came out, Bob Score, came out running a right-end campaign because we were just all too liberal for him. We were okay with all the immigrants and stuff like that, so it was probably some of the best times, probably some of the awkward, scariest, sad conversations at people's doorsteps, because very close-minded people here, which you wouldn't say that would be the
But I
case.
think it's been enlightening, though. I mean, and Zack definitely gave him a run for his money. There's no question.
Oh yeah, that was a good race.
That was a good, tight race. There's no question about it. I was on his campaign committee, so yeah.
It was good.
But yeah, so
But,
next time. I had a hell of a year. How does that sound?
Year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good story.
It is?
Well, not for you.
Well, yeah, last year I had done a show, Steel Magnolias, in April. When we were done with that, I was making basically a transition down to the Chicago area, moving many of my things.
Well, because you had got laid off first.
I had gotten laid off, yeah. Thank you, Zack.
Yeah.
We know each other very well. We're very good friends, and so, like, yeah, good friends. And so I do have a significant other down there, and we were finally trying to pull things together from a long-distance relationship. I was coming back for a long weekend, and my vehicle started on fire on the interstate. I ended up pulling over, and it just went up in flames, basically, and so I stood there just like after hell on the side of the road watching my car go up and everything in my vehicle go up in flames. Like most of my favorite things and personal things, I came back and a week later, and then
The city flood.
The city flood. The next week, we had a huge flood in the city, so I had like a foot of water in my basement, so then everything there was... here I am saying it like it's like matter-of-factly, like, but it's just, you know, it's an old story. So I had 3 claims going, but all along still looking for work, and so I kind of was asked to come step into this position, you know, to help the theater. But I'm not even really explaining it well. I just kind of, because it all's kind of like a dream now. But it's just been me this year, and I've been with it. I don't know. I dug out quite a quite a hole this year.
I would have
so-
killed somebody by now if I were you. I mean, just timeline-wise, you decided to move, car went up, oh, you got laid off.
Yeah.
Decided to move, house was flooded.
No luck.
Your neighbor ran through your fence.
Oh dear God, I forgot about that. Jeez, God, there's so many.
Her backyard fence.
Literally drove through their garage, through my fence. It was like seriously what's gonna happen.
And then,
I had a cat that I would have had to leave behind. Not that I would leave her extended. My daughter was in town and she would come back and check on her, but I was worried about her and ultimately she did die. So that's why I say this is like home for me here, because it's a pretty darn tight group, but it's this, for me it's just my happy place. So I don't know if I really have a good plot with
it's for the best.
it is.
In my opinion.
It is. Yeah, whatever that's worth. Anyway, I'm kidding. But yeah, I can only speak for this production because I was in it of 9 to 5. But a lot of things happened to that production, rehearsals and whatnot. Very drastic things. Where to start? Our director had at the last minute to step in like a week before, and well, because there was somebody from New York was supposed to, damn those New Yorkers, I'm just kidding, that was supposed to be coming and directing, and then something had happened with that, so he stepped in and it was fabulous, but we had issues, like right from the beginning.
Big issues.
We were right in the early stages of rehearsal.
First week, wasn't it?
First or second, the pianist and the vocal director, she's the pianist and the vocal director, she wasn't feeling real well, but Sunday she died. We lost our pianist. She just died. So this is weird. It's like, where is this coming from?
This is a bizarre story of 9 to 5.
It is bizarre. And we then looked desperately for someone else and found this wonderful gal who's accompanied before. We love her. She came one night for a day, and then she slipped on the ice and fell and tore her rotator cuff.
Right?
So she couldn't play the piano because she couldn't move her arms. We eventually did get a rehearsal pianist. We got through the show. We had some, little blips here and there, which,
Some cast members leave.
Yeah, well, that happens anytime. But then after the show had finished,
Well,
the
prior to
director... Sorry, what?
Opening night.
Can't even remember so much. I'm telling you.
This was the first time we've ever had
Hello.
to postpone an opening of a show.
2 nights, because some of us...
Because the cast was so incredible. Everybody was sick, and we had 2 people having to go into the hospital with influenza. So we had to have the place cleaned top to bottom, and we postponed the opening by 2 days and had to transfer 400 people to different nights of the show. So that next morning, I called Sally, and we all met here at 7:30 in the morning, started going through. We had to call every single person to verify that they could go on that new night or else transfer them to different nights. And while we're doing phone calls that morning, we literally had people come in and off the street to see if they could help.
And to me, that's community. That's what's gotten me through the last year or so, is having these people. You like to think that the theater is full of egos and that kind of thing and drama.
Oh, it is.
And of course it is. But they're truly... I have found that's why I say it's home for me, because I have just found such incredible people here.
I mean, there's different people that don't talk to each other, but then when something happens, everybody comes together.
But yeah, we've had our little share of...
It's been a long year.
It has been. Yep. So anyway, I hope I brought that back around somehow, but that was my intention.
Somehow.
But enough about me. How was your year? We're just kidding.